Hello and welcome back to the finish line and episode 10 of our Cheltenham Festival Ante-Post tips, sponsored by Hollywoodbets, who have now started every weekend. You can get a Cheltenham Festival Ante-Post boosted double along with the Cheltenham Festival Bank Builder, where you can earn free bets for the Cheltenham Festival. So all that information is in the description below, and all the links for sign up to Hollywoodbet accounts are there as well. But now, the one you've all been waiting for. We've teased this on Twitter. The two of these have been at loggerheads all day. The day we're recording this, which is a Wednesday. And we'll leave it to the end. We'll get the nice ones out of the way. They agree on one, and boy, fuck, do they not agree on another one?
This is what I don't understand.
No, don't. What?
Why you're so sour, is it?
No,
See?
it's not sour. I just don't understand how we can agree on this horse and you have some sense to it, and then the other one is a fucking lunatic. What happened?
I don't know. Gremlins.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, look, I'm going to get mine out of the way first because these two.
I think I know who yours is.
Oh, do you know what? I just talked there for minutes. I didn't put it in the
Please
order.
say it's blown with blue. Please say it's
No,
blown
it's not
with blue.
blown with
blue.
Please
No.
say it's blown with blue.
It's not.
You're trying to get rid of me, Tom.
Course sublime. Course sublime.
No,
He was your horse, not Andrew's.
not mine. Yeah, I don't pick
might-
yaks. I don't
might
pick
get
slow
that one.
yaks.
Yeah, I actually had a feeling that's what it was. I
Yeah,
can see the
did ya?
graphics now. Yeah, very good.
So my next selection is Manila Indo for the Gold Cup of 7-1.
Get him in the team.
Get him in the squad.
Is he the captain?
Vice captain.
Who's the captain?
No, he's the third choice captain.
So he's not the captain.
No,
then?
he's not the captain. He's on the sideline in case we need him.
Okay.
The captain is Bob. Vice captain.
Oh, what? Your captain has to be Gallopin. Oh, you don't have Gallopin.
I do. The Galpin. Well, technically, I didn't put him up in the actual videos.
Ah, well, then,
I put him up in our.
No, don't count.
I put him up in
Don't
our.
count.
I'm telling you when I put him up. We done a pre Cheltenham
that one
video.
don't count.
I,
Bob is our captain.
I don't care if it's not in this. It's in my anti-post clip, so that's where it counts. Putting them up here don't pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manila Endo. Look, he done his,
Lindo.
he kind of had the same kind of form. People have been writing him off this time last year after his fall at Leopardstown, and he only finished fourth. It wasn't the Irish Gold Cup. Pulled up in the King George and was third at Downright. All you have to do then is go back to his form at Cheltenham. He comes to alive when he comes to Cheltenham, and the new track, the Gold Cup track, is the one he loves. Bolted up in the Alba Bartlett, was chinned because he was acting a dick. I never ever forgive him for the RSA. Chinned by Champ, and he galloped the field into oblivion last year when he took it up. Absolute Tar couldn't go with him, and I think the 7-1 I think is a great price for a former Gold Cup winner. His price has retracted in the last few days, and I just think the whole horses for courses, Cheltenham brings out the best of him. He's never underperformed when he's been there. He's 2 from 3 at the track, and the time he was second, he got done on the line. So I think Manila Indo has a huge chance of retaining his Gold Cup crown this year. Look, it's going to be hard if Absolute Tars comes into the form he did at Newbury, and Galvin is truly after throwing his hat into the ring and said, I doubt him, but he's 100% a contender now. But I think to have him shorter in the market than Manila Indo is not right. Just on form alone. Look, Galvin, yes, of course, he's won the 4 miler, and he's after winning Leopardstown over Christmas. But I think Manila Indo, you can take consideration his form at Cheltenham and what he's done so far. I think 7-1 is a cracking bet. So we'll go with the one that's not going to cause arguments first.
We agree on, and then I'll go with my one. Tom can finish with his one.
I'm just so giddy about this. I can't wait. Right, the one you agree on. Hunt on Clore, Turner's Novice Chase, 11-1 each way.
Do you want to talk first, Tom? Or?
Oh, you go. You bet later, then.
You're not commenting on my graphics this week. I'm not happy.
Willie has an embarrassment of riches, really, in the Novice Chase department. He jumped immaculately in his beginner's chase. I liked him last year as a juvenile. I thought he'd win. I think it's the race of Punchestown. He pulled way too hard that day. I think he would have won that day. He took it up 3 out and just pulled his way to the front. Didn't end up finishing the race. But generally, juvenile hurdlers want to go up and trip. I think the trip will suit him. The race kind of revolves around Bob. You're looking for an each way alternative. I think he's a good chance. He's a good jumper. He'll stay, the speed to lie up. Some of the other ones are poor enough in the race, so I think he's a good shout. And Tom was putting him up, and I agreed. And I think if he runs again, and with Bob running, his price might contract. So that's why we both put him up this week. I just can't get like we can agree on this, and then the other thing he's putting up.
Just
loyalty.
Your loyalty gets you nowhere, Dave. So yeah, with Hot on Clare, again, what Dave said, he jumped very well on his chasing debut. Willie actually said, like, they couldn't believe that he got beat last year. So I think they obviously have liked him from a long, long way out. He is 14-1 in one space, so I'm going to rob that. But the theory behind this
You are the worst salesman. What in God's green earth?
It's Hollywoodbets. I got the Tiger Roll price.
Okay, Hollywoodbets. So we're going with 11-1 then. Okay, that's fine. We're going with 11-1.
I bet you it'll change it soon if I stop paying him.
Sorry, did I mention there were any other bookmakers available? No, it's just Hollywoodbets. Bet with Hollywoodbets. I do actually bet with Hollywoodbets, right? And in fairness to them, they take a bet.
I'm going to check this out now in a minute.
They do take a bet. In fairness, I enjoy my experience with Hollywoodbets. They're not like some other.
Some very big players now that are not being restricted or anything like that, because I told them if they do, I'm going to smack them.
Yeah,
it's generally the conversation I had.
I enjoy my Hollywoodbets account.
I want us to get known for a bookmaker that will actually take a bet, and we actually take a bet.
But like some kind of a bet, like nobody expects to walk in and have a grand on a 14-1 shot. Like it's just not going to happen in this day and age. But you do expect to have 20, 30 quid on a 14-1 shot and not get restricted to like €1.50, which a lot of other bookmakers.
You want to do that? Come to Hollywoodbets. We look after you. No problem.
No, they do. They do look after you. I'll give them that much first. But this bet is all like, obviously, Bob makes the market, doesn't he? He's very, very short, but he deserves to be. But then when you look down at it, is why I wanted to find one to back. Next in the market is Galloping Deschamps, who's a very short price favourite for the Festival Novice Chase, the RSA. Le Homme Presse could well come here. I wouldn't be surprised. I could see him placed in it. I don't think he'll beat Bob, and I actually think Hot on Clare is probably better than him as well. Brave Man's Game is next in the market. He is nearly certain to go to the RSA. Then you've got Hot on Clare's 11-1. And then you've got Jungle Boogie, Classical Dream, Fernie Hollow. Like, at least two of those aren't going to run here, are they? And then you're into the 20-1s. Which 20-1 is another interesting one, which is Saint Sam, another Willie Mullins horse who won well the other day on Chasing Debut. But I do get the impression they think Hot on Clare is a good bit better than Saint Sam. So yeah, at those prices, back him each way, I think you're definitely going to be in the places. And if anything, touch wood, it won't. But if anything does happen to Bob, you've got a cracking bet on your hands.
Yeah, like he ran twice last year for Willie, and the first race was straight into Triumph Hurdle at Cheltenham. So
yeah.
I obviously think a lot of him. And he would have won the race at Punchestown, only for he pulled too hard and showed inexperience. It's only his third time on a racetrack, like so.
Yeah. I think he's a really good bet. That's why I texted you and said I wanted to get the second one in today.
Right. This is before the madness happens. This is not the madness show, by the way. Dino Blue for Dino Dave.
Yeah.
Did you pick it because of the name?
Yeah, and the sire, and her sire is Dr. Dino, so had to do it. No, it actually just suits. When I seen her running last week, I was like, geez, I hope this thing is good just because of the name. And she was good. Mayor's Novice is up in the air. Like there's so many of them running. Willie has so many novices that are decent as well, and you just don't know who's going to beat each other. But he ran her last week in a maiden hurdle. There was 2 other Willie Mullins horses in it. She bolted up. She battered him. Did everything on the bridle. Jumped well. Just looked super fast, speedy type of horse. I think she'll suit the race down to the ground. The sire has actually got some decent horses. Sharjah is by him, so a lot of speed there. And I think another run, maybe if she bowls up again, she'll be half that price. And I think she's a good shout. JP had a couple of chances in it last year as well, and he ran them. So I think she's one of the better ones. He's some good ones like Grangi and all this, but her performance is just wicked impressive, and it was fast on the clock as well.
Coola boola. Right, so I'm going to give everyone about 30 seconds to get the coffee ready, to sit back, get a nice comfortable position.
I want to hear the arguments to this. I'm just going
the argument is solid. So, well, your argument is I like the other horse.
No,
I'm just going to sit back here now.
Now, Tom, I'm going to put up the graphic. I'm not going to say a word for a few minutes. Ready?
Yeah.
Take it away.
Prengard cross country chase. I've got to take 4-1 as well, but at least you can get a bet on it. Yeah.
Mother of God, you're better off just not talking.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Explain this.
No, that's fine. Prengard is the horse that JP McManus has recently purchased from France. He's a cross country horse. He's run in the. What the hell in the two are you doing?
I'm adding up the reasons. I'm adding up the reasons.
You missed one.
No, I don't care about the country.
Okay. So, as you said to me today, Dave said to me today,
okay, wonder.
Are you tipping it? Is part of the reason you're tipping it just because JP McManus owns it? Yes, it definitely is, because if JP didn't buy him, they would just keep him in France because there's loads of cross-country races and loads more prize money to be won. So the horse has moved to Ende Bolger. So we know that this is his target. Before you go through the race, I'll talk about the horse actually. The horse is unbeaten in cross-country races apart from his first run, which came on the back of a break. So he tends to need his first run. They ran him in a hurdle race their first time back this season. But first time back last season, they ran him in a cross-country race, which he finished 4th. Since then, he's won his next 5 cross-country races on the bounce.
When's the last time he ran?
He last ran in November.
When's the first time you heard of his name?
Keep going.
Sorry, go on.
That's fine.
So pissed off. How angry he is.
Oh my days. So he.
Angry. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Okay. So he's then won 5 cross-country races on the bounce, right? Included the listed race at Compiègne in November, which is the same listed cross-country race Easysland ran in before he came over to Cheltenham, and everyone discovered him for the first time because no fecker had ever heard of him before he came over to Cheltenham. So you take that, it looks interesting. You then take the fact that his dam is a grade 3 winner who was rated 147. And then what you do, and what these two haven't done, is you sit down this afternoon and you watch his races. This lad is an absolute monster, right? The way he jumps is incredible. He makes ground all the banks, all the dips, all those kind of obstacles. He makes ground at nearly all of them. He's absolutely huge. He's won on heavy ground. He's won on what looked to me, don't judge it off the Racing Post. Their ground description is always wrong. Go watch the race. I can't remember which one it is because they're all at Compiègne. That looked pretty good, quick ground. So you know he'll go on any ground. The last race, I think, was 3 mile 3. You know he's going to stay. He's got plenty of speed to keep in the race. He's only 6, and I think he's got a cracking chance. From what I hear from France as well, they obviously like him. The JP has paid a lot of money for him because there's no way he'd got him cheaply. And I think he'll go off favourite for this because people will realise. Before we go and say, actually, I have nothing against Tiger Roll. I was the first one to tip up Tiger Roll for the cross country when he won. I was the first one to do it. I took him on when Easy's Land beat him, and then I took him on again the next year, right? So Tiger Roll is a legend of the game, and he's a winning horse for me, right? Tiger Roll is ground dependent. If it turns up soft in Cheltenham in March, he is massively against his favour. This lad goes on any ground, okay? And then you go through the race and you have a look at what else is in there, and I think you're struggling. I think Easy's Land, by the sound of Frank Berry's quotes, he's got massive issues. He's had a lot of issues. They're trying to get a run into him desperately before Cheltenham, and he said if he goes there without one, it doesn't sound like he got much of a chance. So it sounds like he's on a massive retrieval mission. Adjas, I don't even know if he's in training. He hasn't run in a long time, so he's very unlikely to run. So that's 2 of the top 4 who are really unlikely to run. And then you're on to Shady Operator, who, look, I can't have, and I don't think JP's going to go and spend big money if he thinks that's his next cross-country superstar, is he? And then you're into the likes of Farclas and Diz Dahlia. For all he's been very good, they're in handicaps, and this is a step up on level weight. So I don't think there's much in the race, and I think we are, if there's a Tiger Roll got battered by one, younger French recruit, and I think this lad is definitely going to put him up to him. And if it's on soft ground, I think he'll go off a pretty short price.
Right, so I have a few issues with this.
Here we go.
Right, the first one is regards. You said he didn't run well off a break, and if he didn't run since November, that's not good. For your argument. The other issue is you will come on here and preach about value all the time and so on and so forth. You didn't even know the horse existed till Sunday. That is genuine fact. You didn't even know there was a horse called Prangard from France, trained by whoever in France trained him, ridden by whoever, and he won a load of cross-country races until Sunday. And even you were asked on Sunday and you didn't even know then, because we were doing a show and we read out the comments, right? Fair enough, you went and had a look at it.
Yeah.
The horse is simply not value. He would be 20-1 only for JP bought him. There's no other reason, none, zero, zilch, nada, that he's 4-1. He's 4-1 because he was bought by JP and put into training with End the Bulger. You also don't know it is his target. Maybe the race of Punchestown is his target. Maybe Easy's Land will actually make the race, right? Another issue. You laughed. You actually done this at Tiger Roll. Tiger Roll has won 5 times at the Cheltenham Festival. 5. You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 Grand Nationals. Right? Don't care how old he is, because he did the same thing last year. Was kidded around in every single race. One race was the target, the cross-country race to win at Cheltenham, and it'll be the same this year again. Yes, he's ground dependent. If the ground is soft, the Cheltenham are heavy, he won't win. Otherwise, Tiger Roll will bolt up again, same as he did last year. The French horse, heavy ground, very soft ground. The going description, you don't trust the racing post. I do. French heavy and soft ground is odd.
Nobody does. It's a known fact.
It was the same with Easy's Land. I told you all last year, Easy's Land needs heavy ground. It's different ground. I agree with you in the sense that it's different ground in France and how they describe it on the racing post. But if it's heavy and it's sloppy and it's hot, it's horrible to get through. And that's what the French horses run on. And that's what the French horse is like, exactly like Easy's Land. How you can question that Tiger Roll is value at 4-1 isn't value at 4-1, but yet put up a horse that you knew nothing about until he was bought on Sunday is beyond.
I don't get how the fact that I only discovered him on Sunday.
When the horse has won target a year, has won at the Cheltenham Festival 5 times, has won 2 Grand Nationals. Yes, he's getting on in age, but you said that last year. Yes, you said, and you said it last year as well. And you said it last year as well.
Turn up until he's 20.
After he was put, I actually said he'll be retired after the race this year. He'll win it and be retired. That's exactly what I said Sunday. You questioned him last year. It was pulled up in the Bayern hurdle. That's the worst I've ever seen Tiger Roll one. Bolted up at Cheltenham because that's the only target he has every single year. I told you as well, Gordo's going to be all out to win the races that he can win, which are handicaps and this race, right? I just cannot for the life of me. Like I said, we put up Houghton Colours because it made sense. A horse that you didn't even know existed. That's a fact.
What's that got to do with it?
You didn't even know he existed till JP bought him. You don't know where he's going. You don't know how good he is.
You do, right? Because they've come out and said it.
I said to you about his RPR as well. You don't trust that. Oh, the French racing, bro. But his RPR is 130. Tiger Roll has run to an RPR of 171, right? It might have been 2 or 3 years ago. He ran to 159 when he won the race last year that you said he wouldn't win because Easy's Land a bolt up and you were on him all year long. And he absolutely battered Easy's Land. But you question that Tiger Roll is value and you think this donkey from France is value like.
How do you know he's a donkey?
How do you know he's not?
Because I watched his races and I looked at it.
You're going on about value all the time. You know what you're getting from Tiger Roll. Tiger Roll should be favoured for the race. Well, there's no way Tiger Roll should be 4-1 the same price as a horse that's come from France, never ran in England.
Tiger Roll has drifted.
Dave,
a horse that's come from France was just bought by JP and he's not favoured anymore.
If the ground is soft on Wednesday in March at Cheltenham, would you back Tiger Roll at 4-1?
No, because he won't win on soft ground.
There you go. So when you're looking at each way market,
my thing is we can't look into the future.
Tiger Roll has one negative. You know what you're getting with Tiger Roll. You don't even know what this horse is. You don't know what he's going to do on good to soft ground, on good ground. You don't know if he's going to like Cheltenham. You don't know if he's going to travel. You don't know if he's going to even go for the race.
But the descriptions have been soft, very soft and heavy.
But okay, guys, we have to clear that up now because this is a bit like the value thing. It's not
like
okay
the value
to say.
The thing I have with this,
everybody knows that the going descriptions on the Racing Post are not accurate for French racing. They're 100%. Everybody knows that, right? It's not even a question. I told you two to go and watch his races today, right? You go watch his races and tell me that's heavy ground. It's not heavy ground. The going descriptions aren't right. All the French RPRs are lower. So you can win the French Gold Cup and you might run to an RPR of 150.
Right.
They're all lower. So that's that argument out the way. The thing with Tiger Roll...
1 second. Tell me this. If this horse... No, it's not. If this horse was trained by someone in France, was not owned by JP, but was running in this race...
He wouldn't even look at him.
I guarantee you now he'd be...
No, you wouldn't. He'd be 20-1 and you wouldn't even look at him. You'd discount him.
This is the Easy Land effect. Easy Land was put into the cross-country chase. The first year was in there at 16-1. Mm-hmm. And then Jane Mangan said on our preview when he's into 10. And a few days later, word started getting around.
But Easy Land also won a race in November at the track.
Easy Land won the race.
And what happened?
Easy Land had substance to the form that tied in with the UK horses and Irish horses.
Yeah, he won a handicap off 136, I think.
He won at Cheltenham. You knew he acted at the track. You can say a horse acted at a cross-country course around France. That doesn't translate to cross-country at Cheltenham. The same way form at Punchestown cross-country doesn't turn over to the cross-country at Cheltenham. All different tracks. Different ways around,
different jumps, everything.
Different everything. You showed us a clip where they literally go down into a bloody crevice and come back up out of it. It's
They
not
do
like
that
a
in
cheese
Cheltenham.
wedge before you take a cheese wedge. It's like a hole in the ground where they come down, they come up. They won't get
exactly.
anything like that in Cheltenham.
Yeah, you do. It's called the cheese wedges.
I said it before you say it's like the cheese wedges. Go back and watch it. That is not like the cheese wedge. It's a
It's
hole.
exactly like the cheese wedges.
It's not. It goes like this. It's an oval shaped thing where they literally go down into it and come back up over it. The cheese wedge, they jump down at the flat and jump back up.
No, they jumped
That's a cheese
down
wedge.
into it. He jumped
But
down
anyway,
into that. took
I
a stride,
can't
then
get
jumped back out of it,
my
and then-
head around in the slides how in the name of God this horse is suddenly 4-1 favourite for a cross-country chase. And you can say what you want. This is on the back of JP McManus buying it. There's no other reason behind it. Zero.
Yes.
Like, I totally understand.
Hang on a second now. Hang on a
But
second
then
now.
how can you preach about value and all that then, and then put up a horse that's 4-1? There's no value in that.
Right, so there's
whatsoever.
there's been two
There
or
is.
three.
There's
not.
There is still
There's not.
value.
not.
There's been two
You
or
shall
That
three.
hold-
horse is
There's
favourite
no
on the
value in
back
that.
of him being bought by
I
JP
honestly think
McManus.
if this comes up soft in March, he will go off 2-1. Guarantee
If
you.
what's and why not? The horse is 4-1 because JP McManus bought him.
There's been two or three
And then you look at his form.
cross-country races.
The JP thing matters because now you know he's targeted for the race. If he was in France, they would keep him in France. JP has bought him to run in this race. So you know he's going for the race, okay?
But why is he 4-1?
Because you go for his form.
His
The
form
horse
does
is like a monster, man.
does not stack up anywhere
His-
near Tiger Rose.
His form's not anywhere near some of the other 8 in
Diesel
the bend.
Valier has better form than him.
He does.
How do you know? You haven't even watched his races.
Who the hell's he running against? What substance can you put behind
again,
that in the UK?
You don't know. So go and look at
Well,
it.
how
Go
do you
and
know
read
what
his
horses?
form.
Right,
Go and
answer this one for me.
no
Answer this
French
one for me then.
racing.
Right, the horses he's beaten then.
You're just wrong,
So-
lads.
With the horses he's beaten in France then. Put that into context, the horses that Tiger Roll has beaten.
Well, it's hard to do. It's so okay. So if you take
You know,
it
and you
as-
know what? You can take Tiger Roll out of the race. If he was in the race without Tiger Roll, I wouldn't back him in the race. Off the
I
strength of
think
coming,
he's
off the strength of coming from
absolutely
France, off the strength from coming from France, you don't know anything about the French form. Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube, but you know nothing about it. It's all guesswork. The
Why is
difference
it
with
all
Easy's
guesswork?
Land, right?
That's like saying the
I
UK
was-
form is guesswork because you're not from there.
I was all for Tiger Roll when he got beat by Easy's Land. Came out then, he had problems, so on and so forth. The ground didn't suit. It was heavy ground, the soft border on heavy on the Wednesday at that time was never going to suit Tiger Roll. But the difference between Easy's Land, I think he was 10-1 kind of odd when we done our preview, and Jane was saying he was worth a chance. Like, that was value because he had form at the track. You knew he was definitely being geared at the race. You had seen him come over and do it. You'd seen, like, fair enough, I was against him because of the jockey was hailing a taxi and all that around the November meeting. But he came over and did it, and he was actually still a double figure price. That was value. This thing is favoured ahead of Tiger Roll. You don't even know, you knew nothing about him. Didn't know he existed till Sunday. Was bought straight into the race. Grand. Oh, that's what you go back and look at his form. There's no way in hell the horse should be favoured, and it's not value at 4-1. It just isn't.
I didn't know Sweet Will existed until a week ago, and I put that up as my next best. You didn't say anything about that.
Tom, if this horse
You know,
trained
like,
in France, if
how
the
long
horse,
There's a
how long
difference
you've known horses for? It doesn't make any
It's
bit
not,
of difference.
there's difference between not knowing a horse and a horse being jumped into 4-1 favourites on the back of somebody buying him. That's all it is.
if this
There's
horse
nothing
was,
else to it.
if
It's
he was
not.
still trained in France,
Tell me this: if John McConnell bought this horse and he wore the white with the black square, would he be 4-1 favourite? Not a fucking hope in hell would he be.
and if he was still trained in France and he came
It's
over,
all to do with JP.
if he came over and he's still trained in France, and on the day he was running, you're looking for an alternative to Tiger Roll, which people will do. Tiger Roll might be 3-1, like an outsider alternative. Oh, there's a horse from France. We don't know much about it. It's 25-1. Let me give that an each way shot. He's won a couple of races around France over the cross country. Then he's value. But he's not value at 4-1 favourite when he's not been seen ever, not ever done it at Cheltenham.
But
We
he
don't know
has been
anything
seen.
about him.
You can't use the case just because you don't know the French form and you won't watch his races that he's never been seen. He's had plenty of runs. He's won his last 5 cross-country races by a minimum of 6 lengths. Like, he's absolutely bolted up. So you can't, and then you go and talk to people about the French form. So you can't say that he's not been seen just because you haven't watched his races.
No, he said he's not been seen at Cheltenham. You don't know if he acts around Cheltenham. You don't know if he's going to handle a crowd, because the crowds are going to be back. You don't know how he's going to act against that. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you have to take in if you want to take a 4-1 on a horse that's literally been dragged over from France.
How he's favoured ahead of a horse.
I don't think they put a noose around his neck and dragged him over.
You know what I mean?
How he's favoured over a horse that's won at 5 festivals. 5 festivals.
But right? How is
2 Grand Nationals? You know it's his target. You know it's his target. You know he acts around the track. You know it doesn't matter about crowds and all that. Does it any year, barring heavy ground. You keep going on about his age. You keep going on about his age. There's horses running in cross-country races till they're 15.
Yeah, and this lad is 6.
And like Gordon has done it 5 years with the horse. Gordon has done it 5 years with the horse, and you don't trust that he's going to run the horse to his merit in March at Cheltenham. Like going for 6 victories at the Cheltenham Festival. You think he's just going to turn up there and be too old?
If Tiger Roll turns up in the same form he turns up in the same form he done last year, nothing will get near him.
I've nothing against Tiger Roll. I said that at the start. I really
don't. You don't.
But
we're just saying we're putting him into context of the 2 horses of what they've achieved. Yes, the other fella's a 6-year-old.
He is,
but he's literally getting thrown into the sharks.
Yeah, but he looks like he's done enough to deserve that in France.
He does not deserve to be 4-1 favourite. That's what we're getting at.
There's no chance he deserves to be 4-1 favourite. If you were trying to take on Tiger Roll and you said maybe Diesel Dalier or someone like that that's running down the course, you know what you're going to get. Like, then you're like, yeah, fair enough. I can see that. But like,
this lad's form is miles ahead of Diesel Dalier. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it isn't. Go back through Diesel Dalier's French form and look at this lad's French form.
We're not looking at French form. We're looking at Cheltenham.
You are. That's where he's running.
You're taking it. We are talking about what you preach, the value right here. There was none, zero, and you cannot say there's value in that price.
I think there is, and I spoke to someone today who knows his French form inside out, and he also thinks there's value in it. So I did a bit of research before I put him up, and I do think, especially if the ground is soft, you will go off a very short price favourite.
But what if it isn't? What if it isn't?
What if it isn't? Well, I think he still goes on it. I think he'll be in around this price. And he still goes on it because I've watched him go on it today. There's nothing against Tiger Roll, lads. It would be a fairy tale story if Tiger Roll comes.
We're not having this as a Tiger Roll argument. It's nothing to do. We're comparing.
We are
comparing. It's not whether you like Tiger Roll or not, or don't like Tiger Roll. It's whether Tiger Roll is had to be jumped in the market by fucking Houdini. Is that to make the magic trick and then suddenly I'm 4-1 favourite for the cross country?
And if the horse goes, and wins, the French horse goes and wins, all well and good. He's good enough to win. But there's no way he should be favoured. That's the point.
But it just shows the lack of any strength in the race. One, the fact that Tiger Roll is favourite. And then 2, the fact that this lad has now come.
The race is a
Tiger Roll bolted up. Every time he wins this, he bolts up.
It's not the Gold Cup, like.
Every time he runs in this, he bolts up. He got battered by Easyland 2 years ago when he was 2 years younger.
Wins it, I meant to say.
He's ran it 3 times on good ground. He's won all 3 and won by about half the track every time.
He is by way and far the best horse he will ever encounter around these tracks like this. He wouldn't. The horses he beaten wouldn't be able to stand in the same stable as Tiger Roll.
I can't understand.
I'm not the biggest Tiger Roll fan either.
I can't understand this.
I'm not the biggest Tiger Roll fan ever.
I can't understand this thing about Tiger Roll as well. Like, He won, whatever you say about him being old and running bad races. He literally won 2 Grand Nationals. There's horses win a Grand National. They never win a race again after it. He won a second one and then went back and won another at Cheltenham Festival. Like, the horses literally, whether you like him or love him or dislike him, he's legitimately one of the best horses and RPRIs that we've, all three of us will ever see in our lifetime. To win 2 Grand Nationals is like, it's unheard of stuff, like, especially in our lifetime. And like, how he's not favourite is beyond me. And then you're constantly taking him on all the time. Take him on in grade ones around Aintree when he's running around for the crack, when we know he's running around for the crack. You know exactly what's happening at Cheltenham. He's going there to win the race, like.
Well, I'm not taking him on all the time. I've taken him on twice, and one of those he was 8-11, and I got him beat with a 3-1 shot. So I'm happy enough to take him on again now. My only issue with Tiger Old, right, is, well, one is soft ground, but Aintree. What worried me at Aintree, I didn't think he looked interested. I didn't think he looked interested
Done the
one
exact
bit.
same thing though last year.
Done the exact same
No.
thing 3 times.
Not the exact same thing. I just don't think he looked interested.
The ground was worse this year.
His 43 runs. This will be his 44th run. Horses regress at some stage, and
But we could have said the exact same thing last year, and we probably did.
You
say
did
the exact same
you
thing
did say
last
the
year.
exact same thing.
That he has no interest, he should retire him. And then he goes, makes us all look like a fool and wins by half the track at Cheltenham.
Hey, look, maybe he'll go and do it, lads. Best luck to him if he does. But when I don't
we're
think
getting away from the whole point of this. It's not to do with liking Tiger Roll or not. It's the whole values aspect of this. It boggles my mind because I'll say it again. If he was not owned by JP McManus, there's not a fucking shadow of doubt in my mind that he would be 4-1 favourite for the cross country. Not a hope in hell. You might get 10-1, you might get 12-1. I can't have it now.
People, if Guillaume McCare still had him and Guillaume said, I'm going to bring him over for the cross country, people would have got stuck into him. He might not be as short as 4-1, but people would have got stuck into him. My point is, there's no way he's going to be any bigger and than 4 or 5-1.
But how can you say that? How can you say it's not going to be?
Because
That's like us saying.
Okay, I'll explain. I don't think he's going to be any bigger than that on the day because I think you're struggling for runners. And as I said, going down through it, you're struggling for what is going to run. This lad is a cross-country specialist in France. And you know he's coming here. You know he handles any ground. He looks like an absolute tank. You know he jumps extremely well. And I think that ticks a hell of a lot more boxes than a lot of the others. And you're getting into Easley's land, who they're clearly having issues with.
Camera's dead.
Camera's gone. This is fuck camera.
Oh,
I need to get a longer battery.
But yeah, I think you're struggling for runners, and I think I definitely can't see him any bigger than that. And if it turns up soft ground, I'd have him very, very short.
Okay, I think that's enough.
Well, that was an interesting debate anyway. I hope everyone enjoyed that.
That was good. Anyway, they're good lads than me, Joseph. Webcams.
Yeah.
Battery life. For the money I pay for this camera, the battery life is shocking.
I could see it happening because we went all slow all of a sudden.
Oh, I can't wait to play this back on Wednesday, March.
And apologize.
For anyone who hasn't watched his videos, lads, honestly go watch his videos. This is a monster. He's massive. He jumps really well. I really like him. That's why I've put him up, because I sat down and watched his videos today.
Okay. Right. That is us. I'm hungry again. Right, that is us done. I enjoyed that, I have to say. That's what we do. We tell it how it is. If you're new to our show.
On the flat, do you?
No, you don't. You'd say, oh, this fella's a big galloping fucker. Okay.
This thing would have made in France and it's coming for a Group 1 at Newmarket. Okay, best of luck.
Is he? Fair play to him. Is he fast? Yeah, okay.
I'll probably back him as well.
True. Yeah, but anyway, that is us done for episode 10 of our Cheltenham Festival Ante-Post video. We are back on Sunday for another episode of Talking Points, where we will go over everything that happened at Warwick and Kempton. So on until then, enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy your punting on the weekend, and we'll see you again live Sunday at 8 o'clock for another episode. I'll try that again, of Talking Points.